So hi everyone from Sarah again, proceeding with our third class in Tunisian crochet, making the Queen of Spades cropped cardigan. So we left off last time in our last live section on row 7 with 111 stitches, and then I left you with a nice homework for you to do row number 8. So let's see if you've done it right, if you have understood everything. So this is how row 8 is done. So at the beginning we will keep on increasing. We have our first spade motif, which is made of 5 stitches, knit stitches, and now we will increase just like we have done so far. So we work the first 2 stitches in Tunisian knit stitch, 1 and 2. We will increase here. So I have done something wrong here, which is very easy to make small mistakes here, but since I am a perfectionist, I like to do everything right. So when you do a knit stitch, you must pay attention and not go inadvertently both through the one stitch you have to make your knit stitch into, and also the back bar of the next knit stitch, like I have done here. So if you have any doubts, just spread apart the stitches with your fingers so you recognize exactly where you need to insert your hook. So here. Okay, this is my 1, 2, because the first loop on the hook does not count in this case as part of our spade motif. Then we have 3 here. This is the middle stitch around which, or into which, we need to make our knit increases. So this is 1. Then we will make a Tunisian simple stitch here, as you know, in the middle stitch. And then we will work again into the very same stitch in Tunisian knit stitch again. There you go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we have our 2 TPS, our Tunisian purl stitches here. Then this is the marked section, so we know that we need to make our 3 simple stitches here as usual. Then we have our 2 purl stitches. Here we have another blooming spade motif, let's say, of 5 stitches, into which we will make 2 increases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Then here we have our 2 purl stitches. So we have our decreasing spade motif, where we will place 2 further decreases knitwise. So we insert the hook under both of the following 2 vertical bars, but instead of yarning over and pulling through, as you know, we will go knitwise. So we go with the tip of the hook through. Okay, then we yarn over and pull through, just to make sure you have it clear. So this is 1. We work the next stitch as a knit stitch, and then we make another 2 together decrease knitwise. Okay. Then we have 2 more purl stitches, then another group of 5 that is going to become 7 knit stitches of our growing spade motif. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is how we will proceed with constant increasing and decreasing as you have learned so far, and then we will make a standard return pass, and we will have at the end of row number 8 121 stitches. So now I will stop here so as to make this video a little bit shorter than our live sessions, because you already know what you have to do, and I will see you at the end of row number 8. Here I am back with you. I've just finished row number 8 with 121 stitches. Now I'm going very quickly into row number 9 in order to show you how to work the next stitches, and I will be trying to go quickly because I want to show you our next crucial row. So here I am working another 2 increases in our growing spades motifs. So I'm starting from the very first spade motif at the beginning. So I'm working 1, 2, 3 knit stitches. Then I'm making, just as before, 2 increases here in the middle stitch. So I work 1 knit stitch, then 1 simple stitch, and then another knit stitch here. There you go. Then I work the next 3 stitches in knit stitch, and in this way I have pulled up 9 loops on the hook for my growing spade motif. And this is what I will be doing in all growing spades motifs. And this is the largest number of loops I'm going to draw up for the spades motif. So afterwards we are going to decrease but you will see. Now, as usual, our 2 purl stitches, then our 3 separating simple stitches that remain the same throughout the pattern, then again 2 purl stitches here, 1 and 2. Then here again I'm showing you how to increase in the growing spades motifs. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now another 2 purl stitches here, and here we have our decreasing spade motif where we have just 3 stitches on top, and here we will make a 3 together decrease knitwise. So we go with the hook under all of those 3 stitches together, knitwise, yarn over and pull through all three of them, and we end up with just 1 loop out of 3. So this is the tip of our spade motif. So the spade motifs here are finally closed. Okay? So this is what you will be doing throughout the row. So add 2 more stitches in the growing spades motifs, obtaining 9 stitches, making up the spades motifs, and we will make a 3 together decrease here where our decreasing spades motifs are, closing the spades motifs like that. Okay, so we will go until the end of this forward pass and then proceed with a standard return pass And at the end of row number 9, we will have 131 stitches. So I'll see you at the end of this row as well. Here I am back with you. After row number 9, we are proceeding on with row number 10, which is the one I described as crucial. The next row, row number 10, will be a crucial row, and I will also add an asterisk. I will add a star sign in my written pattern to it, because this is the row in which we are going to add more spades motifs. Okay, because of course, if we want the piece to grow, we need to add more spades motifs. Okay, so where are you supposed to add the next spades motifs? If you look at your piece now, which by the way already looks rather lovely, what do you say? If you look at your piece right now, and if you still have the stitch markers placed, as I told you to do at the beginning, you know where our 3 Tunisian simple stitches dividing areas are. So we have one here, one here, one here, and one here. So you are supposed to add the next spades motifs before and after each of these 3 simple stitches separation strips, let's say. Okay, so we have to add new spades motifs here, so before the first strip, here right after, so here actually. Then we will work everything as we find here, and then right before the second separation piece here, let's call it strip of 3 Tunisian simple stitches, we will add a spade motif here, a spade motif here, then we will work all stitches here as we find them. So we will proceed with our growing spades motifs, and here we will on the closed spades motifs we will add let's say the stems of our future new spades motifs. And then you know already, so here and here around both of the left 2 dividing strips of 3 simple stitches, we will add further spades motifs, but I will show you now how. So here we have, at the beginning of row 10, we have our first spade motif, which is no longer growing now. So it is made of 9 knit stitches, and we will just work 9 Tunisian knit stitches just as we find the stitches. So we will maintain with no more increases and no decreases yet the stitches of the spade motif, the 9 stitches. So we have 3 now, excluding the first one, 3, 4, then we will work another knit stitch here in the middle stitch, this is 5, then 6, 7, 8, and 9 knit stitches in all. So we are maintaining the width of the spade motif. Now, we are right before the first dividing strip of 3 simple stitches. So here we will make our first increases in order to be able to add a new spade motif here. So we will make a first increase in Tunisian purl stitch. If you want to check it, I have added a video regarding how to increase in Tunisian purl stitch, but I will show you here. So I prepare for a Tunisian purl stitch. So I bring the yarn to the front, placing it on the hook because it is more comfortable for me. Then keeping it in place if you need to with your finger, go with the tip of your hook and insert it through the horizontal bar here. So it is easier to do than what it seems right now. Then I let go of my yarn, bring it to the back in order to be able to yarn over and pull through and make my purl stitch here. Okay, so I have placed it right between the last knit stitch of our spade motif and the first of 2 purl stitches that we usually do between spades motifs. Okay, so this is one added stitch. Now here in the first of 2 purl stitches I will make another purl stitch, very simply. Now here, right between our 2 purl stitches, we will make another increase, this time in full stitch, let's say. So we just go with the hook here in the space between the 2 purl stitches, right in between, and very simply make a Tunisian full stitch. Okay, so this is our second increase. Now we will work into the second of 2 purl stitches in purl stitch, just like before. And here we will add another increase in purl stitch right between the last stitch just worked and the first simple stitch of our separating strip of 3 here. Okay, so just like before, we yarn over. Oh, sorry, this is not a yarn over. This is, I bring the yarn to the front, then I insert the hook through the horizontal bar there, which is very easy. Bring the yarn to the back, yarn over, and make a purl stitch. And here I have added 3 increases, 2 in purl stitch and 1 full stitch in between, that are going to form, this is going to be the stem of our growing new spade motifs. And this is what we will do throughout, and I will show you. Here I will work my 3 simple stitches as usual. And as I said, since we have to make increases before and after our separating strips, we are going to repeat here what we have done here. So we are adding an increase in purl stitch right here. Okay, then we are working the next stitch in purl stitch, just like it is. Then we are going to add a full stitch here in the space between the 2 purl stitches. Then we are going to work into the next purl stitch in purl stitch, and we are going to add another increase here, another stitch in purl stitch, going through the horizontal bar. Okay, so what happens here? This is a mirror-like work, as you see. Okay, also pay attention, because if you're working with the same yarn weight as I am, these stitches are going to be rather tight together here, and especially the first one is going to hide itself a bit. Okay, and this is very important not to miss it, especially in the return pass and in next row. Okay, so here we are going to work the next spade motif as it is. So 9 knit stitches, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we can work these next 2 purl stitches, separating purl stitches, just like they are, because I don't have any separation strips of strip of 3 simple stitches here. So we just work basically the stitches as you find them. Here we have our closed spade motif with our tip here, in which we will work in knit stitch. Okay, so one single knit stitch here is going to be the stem of our future spade motifs. Okay, everything clear? Now here once again I have my 2 purl stitches. Here, then another spade motif that we will work as we see it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here we have another of those separating strips of 3 simple stitches. So we are going to make the same what we have done here. So I will show you again so that you can be quite sure to understand what to do, and then I will leave you to it. So we are starting with 1 increase in purl stitch. So yarn to the front, insert the hook in through the horizontal bar right between stitches, and make a DPS there. Then work a purl stitch on the purl stitch, then add a full stitch here, which is going to be the base of the stem of our future spades motifs. Then work a purl stitch on the purl stitch and add a purl stitch through the horizontal bar between stitches here. So this is very, very easy actually. Now I work my strip up 3 simple stitches here, and then add another 3 increases right after it. So increase in purl stitch, then purl stitch as it is, then a full stitch right in between. This is very easy to do. Then a purl stitch in the purl stitch, and then we add a purl stitch increase here right between stitches through the horizontal bar. There you go. And here you will proceed just like I've shown you. So you will work the spades motif of 9 stitches in Tunisian knit stitch, just like before. You will work the 2 separating purl stitches without increases, so very normally, and the tips of our closed spades motifs in Tunisian knit stitch as well. Here, right before the 3rd separating strip, you will add increases, just like I've shown you, and you will do the same here, right before and after the last strip of 3 simple stitches, and you will work all of remaining stitches as you find them. Okay, I hope this is clear enough. I will leave you here for now, and I will see you at the end of row 10, where you are supposed to have 155 stitches. Here I am, and what happens now? After our crucial row, number 10, on row 11, we are going to just work stitches as we find them, with no increases and no decreases yet. Okay, so this means we are going to start with 9 knit stitches, forming our spade motifs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I just want to show you how to work our increase groups we had done in previous row. So as you can see, we have actually created 2 purl stitches here that become our 2 separating purl stitches. So the 2 purl stitches that separate the spades motifs, followed by the beginning of the stem of our next spade motifs, in which we are going to work in knit stitch, like so. And then we have another 2 purl stitches. So you really just work the stitches as you find them. A separating strip of 3 Tunisian simple stitches. Done. Plus, I'll show you once again how to work this piece here, where we had our 3 increases in previous row. As I told you before, one of the increases is very well hidden here. So you need to look at your work and identify where it was hidden. It's here. So don't miss it, and just think of the overall structure of your work in order to be able to not make any mistakes. So 2 purl stitches followed by a knit stitch in our full stitch increase of previous row, followed by our 2 separating purl stitches here and here. So, and this is how you will proceed across in the forward pass. So once again, we will repeat working the 9 knit stitches in the growing spades motifs with no increases. Then here on the tip of our closed spade motifs, you will keep on working a Tunisian knit stitch because you are forming the stem of our next spade motifs, and so on. And here, where we had our increase groups, we are forming another other spade motifs, okay? And this is how you will proceed throughout. And you will make a standard return pass as always, and you will end up with the same number of stitches, that is to say 155. And this is it for today. So no homework for next time, unless you want to go on by yourselves, but if you make mistakes, it's on you. I am not responsible, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time for another class, our 4th class on the Queen of Spades cropped cardigan in Tunisian crochet. It will be another Wednesday. It will be at 4:30 p.m. CET time, unless otherwise stated. Remember, I will put all updates both here on my YouTube channel in the community section and in my Instagram stories. So this is it for today. See you next time. Be present, don't miss it. Bye bye.